Hello friends, welcome to or back to my channel. I know this is going to be one of my first videos, but today I'm going to go book shopping. It is the end of the school year for me. I just finished year 5 as a teacher, which is so exciting, but as always, the end of the school year is a very challenging time for teachers and students alike. And so today, to reward myself, I'm going to go book shopping. So I'm going to go to 2 of my favorite used bookstores, and hopefully we can just find some goodies. I have bought quite a few books the past couple months, so I'm not quite sure that I really need any more books, but I feel like you can never have too many. So I'm going to go to the first bookstore, and I will take you guys along with me. Okay, so before we get into today's haul, I just wanted to say that while I have been running around, I have been listening to Honey, and I'm not sure who it's by. It was one of the Book of the Month selections for this month. I got an archivate from NetGalley, and so I've been listening to that, and essentially so far from what I've gained, it is about this girl named Amber Young, and she is becoming a pop star in the late 90s, early 2000s, and so yeah, that's kind of like where we're at so far. Like, I've listened to about 20%. It's not a new fave by any means. I've seen mixed reviews, so I will continue listening to that, and I'm sure I'll talk about it in a future wrap-up or something of the sorts. But I have been listening to that. I started that book. I'm also currently reading The Next Mrs. Parrish, which is so spicy. And I'm trying to think. I've also started quite a few other books, but right now I would say those are the 2 books that I'm like currently genuinely in the middle of. So let's get into today's haul. I finished out my second store, and I ended up picking up 6 books from the second store and 2 books from the first store. So I'm just gonna take you through and show you what books I got. I have no idea what some of these are about, and some of them I kind of like read the description, but I definitely forgot about it right away. The most expensive book I bought today was like $8, which is pretty good. A couple things to know about me is, 1, I do not pay full price for books. I always find a way to get the books discounted. I rarely ever pay full like retail price for a book. Another thing to know about me is I love Book of the Month books. I am a Book of the Month member, but I also just love the books. I have 2 whole shelves in my house dedicated to Book of the Month books, and I rarely leave the thrift bookstore without a Book of the Month book, and so of course I had to pick up at least one today. Without further ado, here are the 8 books I got today. So from the first store I got 2 of the Meant to Be novels. So I got the If the Shoe Fits by Julie Murphy, which is a Cinderella retelling, and Kiss the Girl, which is a Little Mermaid retelling. This series, there's currently 4 books out. I think the 4th one just came out. The second one is called By the Book by Jasmine Guillory, and that is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. And then the newest one is Christina Lauren, and it's a Tangled retelling. That one is so cute. I have been wanting to buy this series. They also are like big books, like they're taller than normal paperbacks, but I love it. I love Disney stuff. I love Disney retellings. I love the Twisted Tale books, and I've also bought a couple other Disney retelling type books recently. I haven't read any of them, of course, because what would my life be if I actually read the books that I bought? But these have been calling out to me, and so I found 2 of these at the first store that I went to, so I got those. So that was my first store, and then my second store, I got a little bit of everything. So the first thing I found was this historical fiction novel, and I'm not gonna lie, the spine was calling to me. This is one of my favorite colors right now. So it's called Only Woman in the Room, and this is the same person who wrote The Personal Librarian, which I gave a shot, didn't love it. Hopefully I can tackle this one. One of the reasons I didn't love The Personal Librarian was the vocabulary. I felt like I had no idea what I was reading, like I wasn't even reading English. But this one is about a woman who is a scientist, but people don't know that she's a scientist, and that's all I needed to hear. I love women in STEM, especially historical women in STEM. You know, like obviously that was looked down upon, so this is why I picked up this one. Also, look at this. This is so cute and pretty. We love a scientist. We love a queen. So yeah, hopefully I will get into this one soon. Another historical fiction that I picked up was The Paris Hours. This is a book of the month, and this one was $4. Sometimes thrift stores try to sell book of the month books for like $17, $18, and if you are a book of the month member, you know that's literally more than they go for the first time. So buying a used book of the month, don't do it. If it's more than $10, just don't do it. But I got this one. This one is set in the late 1920s, and it sounds like it's like 4 different characters who all have shit that they got going on, and they got to figure it out before the time runs out, and then all of their stories are going to intersect, and I love stories like that. So that's the second book I got from the second store. The third book, this book just was kind of calling out to me on the spine. I liked the little writing, and so this book, and then when I picked it up, it's beautiful, and it has deckled edges. I don't know if you can see that, but this book apparently is about a family who goes off to sea for a year, and that whole adventure, and apparently it is told from the wife's perspective after the events and the husband's ship log during the events, and apparently some stuff goes a little crazy off the rails. And so yeah, this one sounded super interesting. It's super pretty. I don't know, it just was calling to me, so I picked it up. The next one I got the Book Club Hotel by Sarah Morgan. I actually just read my first Sarah Morgan book last month. It was an arc, and it was what was this new one called? I don't even remember what I just read, but it was a summery book, and this one is obviously a wintry book, and I really enjoyed it, so I wanted to check out another book by her. There is one summery book of hers that I look for at the library every time, and I never see it, but this one looked super cute, and we love a good winter, you know, bookish themed book, so we picked up this one. The other one, this one is kind of funny. Me and my coworker were talking recently about books, how we will just buy an entire series when we've never read any of the books, and this is one of those cases. So this is the third book in the A Study in Charlotte series, and I have the first 2, I have not read them, but I am the way that I am, and one of those things is I will buy a whole series when I have not read any of the books, and so this is the third one. I don't really know what it's about. I wouldn't want to spoil myself, but I did find this one, and this one was only $3, so went ahead and snagged it. And then the last book, which my same coworker and I were also talking about today, is the Lovelight Farms book, and this is a 4-book series. I think the last one is coming out soon. I don't know what this specific book is about, but I know that people love it. I see rave reviews on Instagram, Bookstagram, Goodreads. So I went ahead and I picked this one up so that I could check out this series. I think there's like 1 book for each season, so obviously this is the winter one. But yeah, so those were the 8, I almost said 4 times 2. Those are the 8 books that I got today. Thanks for coming along with me, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.